Election Day in America, the balance of power on the line, across the nation, and here at home. Now the people cast their votes, and we discover the direction of our country and our state. This is a special Your Voice, Your Future edition of Channel 7 News.
Good evening, Arkansans making their voices heard during this year's midterm elections. Locally, voters making decisions on races for governor, congressional seats, and issues deciding minimum wage and casinos here in Arkansas.
7 is on your side tonight. We are telling you everything that is happening locally, statewide, as well as nationally. Our reporters are fanned out across the state tonight. We have our political experts here as well. Everything you need to know from this year's midterm elections. We will start off, though, tonight with one of the marquee races that remains undecided at this hour, and that is the race for mayor of Little Rock. And we've got some updated numbers.
We do. They are coming in as we speak, and the latest numbers that we saw were Baker Curris in the lead with 33% of the vote, I believe. Warwick Sabin and Frank Scott Jr. getting 31% of the vote, and that just flipped because Frank Scott did have 33%. So this is coming down to the wire.
There are those numbers right there, and of course the magic number tonight is 40%. One of these candidates needs that in order to avoid a two-candidate runoff. At this hour, though, that's looking pretty unlikely. Let's check in with the candidates. We have reporters at all three of their watch parties tonight. We'll begin with our Shelby Rose. She is with the Baker Curris campaign. They are at Cajun's Wharf. And Shelby, it looks like Baker Curris's numbers right now looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time tonight that we have seen that Baker is in the lead. We've had a few updates saying that with the early voting numbers, Scott in the lead, and another update with Scott still barely in the lead. This is a race that is just getting down to the wire, both within all three candidates within the early 30s range right now. You know, we're at Baker's watch party right now at Cajun's Wharf, and everyone is just eagerly anticipating, waiting for these numbers to come in with these precincts reporting coming in. And so, yeah, and you can start to hear them really getting excited. This may come to a runoff. We'll see if anyone can pull in to get that 40% of the vote needed to get to that mayoral race. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks a lot. And we want to go now to Nick Popham. He is live tonight at Sticky Fingers in the River Market covering the Warwick Sabin watch party. Nick, how are things there?
Beth, the mood has kind of fluctuated as the nights progressed. There's been a lot of excitement for when they found out that the House was able to take control, or the Democrats rather were able to take control of the House. That's according to CNN and ABC News that we've been watching here. But then also they've been paying attention to some of the smaller TVs that have Channel 7 on them as we've been posting those numbers, like we were talking about how Baker Curris has 33% of that vote right now as votes are still being tabulated. So they're still waiting on pins and needles, trying to see what the final vote will be, if there will be a runoff, and if Mr. Sabin will be a part of that runoff. He has still not made his way to his watch party. We've seen it kind of clear out a little bit. It was packed just minutes ago, and now it seemed to clear out a little bit, maybe going to either different parties or heading home for the night. But still a little bit of electricity in this atmosphere as we try to find out who takes home this mayoral race. Chris, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, Nick Popham for us at Sticky Fingers in the River Market District. Nick, thanks so much. Again, it looks like a runoff looms in the mayor's race, but who will be a part of that runoff? Let's go to our Kayla Lafferty. She is with the campaign of Frank Scott Jr. at the Copper Grill here in downtown Little Rock. Kayla?
Hey, thank you, Chris. That is right. We are at the Copper Grill. So it looks like Frank Scott Jr. has lost the lead in this race so far. That has not changed the energy here at the Copper Grill at all. There are still dozens of his supporters here, excited, listening to music, dancing, having fun, and supporting their candidate. He did come out briefly to speak to the crowd. He spoke for about a minute or so, saying that he's still confident that he can come through with a win. He says they only need about 12,000 votes to pull off this win, and there's still over 20,000 votes being counted as of about 10 minutes or so ago. So he is still still hopeful, but he says he's also ready if that runoff election does end up happening. But we've been here all night long. The energy has not changed at all. People are still really positive at this time. But for now, I will send it back to you, Chris and Bev.
Okay, Caitlin Lafferty for us at Copper Grill. Again, the latest numbers from the Little Rock mayor's race. Baker Curris at 33%, Frank Scott Jr. at 31%, Warwick Sabin at 31% as well. So that's a race we're going to continue watching probably late into tonight.
We knew it would be a close one, didn't we? All right, we have some other mayoral races here across the state to let you know about. That's what we're hearing. So let's go ahead and show those numbers if we can. And waiting for those to pop up. There we go. Jacksonville mayor. It looks like Bob Johnson there with 50% of the vote. Patrick Thomas with 28% and Deborah Fulton with 21%.
Well, the other big race, let's go to the mayor of Maumelle. City Attorney Caleb Norris there at 53% right now, Roger Herod at 37%, and Leticia Sanders, who was a gubernatorial hopeful in the Democratic primary, at 10%, that in the race for Maumelle mayor. Now, let's talk about the other big outstanding race there, and that is the race for the 2nd District Congressional seat, French Hill and Clark Tucker.
That's right. Our Matt Mershon has been covering the Tucker campaign, and he joins us now from downtown Little Rock, the Lafayette building. Matt, how's the mood there?
Oh, hey, guys, it is loud. That's why I'm putting my hand up to my ear just so I can hear you guys. It is a raucous party here because people are waiting on pins and needles. We still have not called this race yet, even though it does appear to be in favor of Representative Hill, the incumbent Republican. But to talk to me, to break this all down, Will Bond, state senator from Little Rock, former DPA chairman. What are we thinking right now?
Well, we're just waiting on the numbers from Pulaski County to roll in. Clark's running an incredible race, meeting voters face to face, talking about health care particularly and the issues that face us all every day. So we're very proud of the race he's run, and we're just waiting on the final numbers to come in, particularly from Pulaski County.
Well, obviously, that's got to be where we need those numbers for this race here. I mean, Faulkner County, Saline County, obviously going red this year.
Well, it looks that way, and that's been an issue in the past, of course. So we just got to sit tight, hold on, and like I said, we're very proud of Clark and the entire Tucker campaign team. They ran an incredible, courageous, and decent race, and we're still very hopeful tonight.
Your final thoughts?
Well, turnout's up, it looks like, which is a good thing. I still think it's very important to get out like Clark did and meet voters face to face and talk to them about the issues, and making sure that health care and everybody's pre-existing conditions are covered is a huge issue that he highlighted. And like I said, we're still hopeful, and we're proud of Clark and the entire Tucker team.
State Senator Will Bond, thank you so much for being with us tonight. As we mentioned, we are still waiting here on pins and needles for this race to be called. We're obviously still waiting to see those final numbers come in from Pulaski County. For now, we're live at the Lafayette building in downtown Little Rock. We'll send it back to you.
Okay, Matt Mershon for us tonight. Matt, thanks a lot. And I think we have some new numbers for this race, the District 2 race. French Hill with 54% of the vote so far. Clark Tucker with 44%.
That's the biggest lead of the night we have seen by far for Congressman French Hill. A lot of the networks projecting at this hour that the Democrats are going to take control of the House. Still, this would be a huge pickup for them if Clark Tucker was able to turn this around as these final numbers come in. Let's check in with his campaign. Our Maureen Glisovic is with them tonight, or is with the campaign of French Hill, rather, out at the Embassy Suites in West Little Rock. Maureen, with a 10-point lead after 10 o'clock at night on election night, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Well, you know, the party has died down a little bit, but just as you guys started bringing up those new numbers here on the air, we heard a little bit of cheering out there in the crowd. We have not spotted Congressman French Hill the entire evening at the Republican Watch Party. In fact, you know, I wasn't quite sure how many people would still be around to hear his acceptance speech if that were to be the case for that campaign. So, you know, it's been great. We've heard from a lot of the folks here, pretty much every single
candidate that's been at this watch party, from the Attorney General all the way to the governor. We've heard from them all, and we have yet to see or hear from French Hill. Obviously, it was a tight race this entire evening, so it wasn't unexpected that we didn't see French Hill walking around. But, you know, like I said, I'm hearing a couple of cheers here and there, some low cheers, not as many people here, you know, when it's past 10 o'clock at this point. But, you know, we will be sticking around and we'll bring you the latest if and when that race is eventually called. Back to you.
Eventually it will be. It's just a matter of when. Maureen Glisovic for us out in West Little Rock with the French Hill campaign. Again, we'll be keeping our eye on that well into the night. Yeah. We'll let you know just as soon as we're ready to make a call on it.
All right. Well, now to the governor's race. That race being declared just moments after the polls closed tonight across the state. Incumbent Asa Hutchinson winning re-election over his Democratic challenger, Jared Henderson.
Our Stephanie Bennett has been with the Henderson campaign. She joins us now. Actually, let's go first to the winner. Jason Peterson is with the Hutchinson campaign. They too standing by at the Embassy Suites Hotel. And Jason, this was an early call. It looks like that place is cleared out.
Yeah, and if French Hill gives a victory speech, like Maureen was saying, there won't be a lot of people left to hear it. But they've heard plenty of victory speeches here tonight. If you like success, this was a great watch party to be at. If you like 70s and 80s rock music, this was a great watch party to be at. If you like drama, not so much. It has been well over 2 hours since Governor Hutchinson went to the podium and accepted victory and gave his victory speech to his supporters tonight. During that speech, I believe we have a clip. He referenced the historic significance of this victory.
If you look back in history, I'm the only second Republican governor to win a second four-year term. And so this is a moment to enjoy. And so tonight, the voters have affirmed our accomplishments, our goals, and vision for Arkansas.
So that was the first of many victory speeches here tonight. As Maureen mentioned, Arkansas has 7 constitutional officers. All 7 of those spots have been held by Republicans here tonight. All 7 gave a speech. There's only one speech we're waiting for here at Republican Watch Party, and that is Congressman French Hill.
And no doubt about it, it has been a red wave in the state of Arkansas, as many of us expected tonight. Jason Peterson, thanks so much.
Yeah, the governor spoke earlier about how gracious Jared Henderson was in his phone call to concede that race. Our Stephanie Bennett has been out at the Jared Henderson watch party all night. She joins us now with reaction from what's going on there.
Well, Chris and Beth, it was definitely a night full of emotion here at Jared Henderson's watch party. Of course, as we know, he did not win, but he does tell me he is remaining optimistic and hopeful for the future. He also said in his concession speech that he is grateful for every single one of his supporters. Now, our cameras were rolling during that concession speech. He even got emotional as he was thanking everyone in the room, his family, his friends, his supporters, and his campaign team. He says it wasn't easy. He says he knew this race was already an uphill battle from the get-go, but that he's passionate about specific issues like improving public education, making healthcare more affordable for Arkansans. And he says even though this wasn't the outcome he would have liked, he's grateful for the experience.
We can have that future in this state and in this country. The one thing it requires is for all of us to work together, all of us to not give up, to keep fighting for what we believe in, and to believe that this better future is possible. I am so honored to be here with you all tonight, to have run this race this year. I'm so thankful for all the new friends that I've made, and I cannot wait, after a good break and some rest, to continue fighting for the future that we all know can and should occur in this state and this country. Thank you all so much for being here.
As you can see, he's just had a wonderful attitude throughout this whole event, this whole process. Now, he did tell me that this definitely isn't the end of his journey as far as working toward public service, so we'll definitely have to keep our eyes peeled for what's to come in the future. Beth?
Okay, Stephanie Bennett reporting live for us tonight. Stephanie, thank you. And we have a look at some of the other races that have been called tonight. In the race for Secretary of State, John Thurston wins, defeating Susan Inman and Christopher Olson. Tim Griffin is reelected as Lieutenant Governor, and he was reelected over Dr. Anthony Bland and Libertarian Frank Gilbert. Andrea Lee has won the race for auditor here in Arkansas. It's her second term. She defeated Libertarian David Dinwiddie.
And finally, Leslie Rutledge wins a second term as Arkansas Attorney General tonight, topping Democrat Mike Lee and Libertarian Carrie Hicks. We heard from the newly elected Attorney General a little bit earlier tonight. Let's take a listen to what Leslie Rutledge had to say.
Tonight, let's commit to make Arkansas the first and finest state in the nation. And thank you. And as I have told you all before, I am a Christian, pro-life, gun-carrying, conservative mama. And I will always defend our families, our faith, and freedom.
Okay, so there she is, Leslie Rutledge, 4 more years as Arkansas Attorney General, and we'll see what's next for her. A potential gubernatorial run might be in her future. We'll have to see what happens down the line.
All right, well, several issues Arkansas voters were deciding today.
That's right. 2 of those have been called as of this hour. We'll begin with issue 2, which of course would make the voter ID law a part of the Constitution. Voters approving that tonight handily. Voters also considering issue 5, an increase of the state's minimum wage.
That's right, but the biggest issue facing voters was issue 4, the casino amendment. Our Zach Briggs covering that issue tonight at the Capitol Hotel. Zach?
Well, guys, it's been a tough one here. They've been monitoring the numbers over the past couple hours, and so far 53% have approved of the issue 4, which again proposes to permit 4 licenses to various communities, 4 casino licenses across the state. And again, the issue is to would propose to generate over $120 million over annually, and the money would be used to potentially be going towards education and maybe highway road fixes. There's a slew of issues. And speaking with representatives with Driving Arkansas Forward, they tell me that they're pretty optimistic in this race so far, but they are not confident enough yet to fully say that, they've got it in the bag. There's still many more counties to consider for tallying up the votes for them to have a more confident say on this issue. But of course, there's a number of questions from the opponent side of how this will really help some of these already impoverished communities, such as Jefferson County being one of them. Other communities that already have some form of gambling in place. Those are the ones that have been the targets for prosperity. But Driving Arkansas Forward supporters I spoke with earlier, they say that they believe that this will result in a positive, favorable outcome. And for now, we'll toss it back to you guys.
Okay, Zach Briggs reporting for us tonight. Zach, thank you.
Okay, so issue 4 again remains undecided. Issue 2, the voter ID law, and issue 5, the minimum wage hike, both approved by voters tonight. Let's head over to Janelle Lilly and Roby Brock. They have been closely watching these races for us all night tonight.
All right, any surprises, guys? What are your feelings on how things have turned out?
Well, we are joined by Shane Broadway and Rex Nelson, and so far we've just been kind of calling them one by one, but it's really shaken out much like we expected it. At the very beginning of the night, we said the Arkansas Supreme Court race, District 2, and Issue 4 would be the last races called.
And the Little Rock Mayor's race, and that's just kind of how it's all shaped up so far.
Exactly.
I think we've also seen, too, that we expected the Republican tide, the red tide in Arkansas to remain in power. We have seen that up and down the ballot. I don't think anything's gone much unaccording to script.
No surprise there. We're still going to have all 7 of our statewide constitutional officers will be Republicans. Our entire congressional delegation will be, I think, a Republican delegation. We haven't called the 2nd district yet, but I think French Hill is looking very good at this hour.
Yeah, I agree. I think it has gone. It really hadn't been really any surprises tonight. There are a couple legislative races that did go one way we predicted earlier, but a lot of them are still out there. A lot of people were still voting. I got a report still voting till 8:30.
Great turnout for midterms.
There, yeah, we have seen some big numbers in the midterms. I'll give the Clark Tucker supporters a little ray of hope right here. French Hill's numbers are down in Faulkner and Saline County from 2014, which was the last midterm he ran in there, and Pulaski County numbers are going to be higher. This race is going to be closer than when I think we're seeing it at 50% reporting right now. but we will see where those numbers come from.
But we're thinking a lot of White County votes are still out.
There
Is that
could
not
be that,
correct?
and there could be some Pulaski County votes that have not come in yet as well.
And the White County could be heavily Republican.
Yeah.
And switching gears to Little Rock Mayor, that was another race that, you know, we predicted at the beginning would likely come into a runoff, and really that's the way we're seeing it shake out right now. Those numbers at the beginning with early voting had a lot wider gap. It's really tightened up here in the last few hours.
Roby's one bold prediction was he thought it might not end up in a runoff.
I also said that it would be that there could be 2 percentage points differentiating first and third place.
I thought there would be 3 people all in the low 30s, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
Rex is a genius. That's all I can say. I mean,
thank you. I've waited for years for that.
I think the interesting still out there is casinos.
It is.
And really, or the issue for it with casinos, and trying to figure out where those counties are still outstanding.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this trend line all night. It has hovered in the low to mid 50s.
Again, we haven't called it, but I think casinos is going to pass.
I think casinos is going to pass too. So I think casinos is going to pass. I think Courtney Goodson is in good shape on the Supreme Court race. We're getting a lot of votes in. She's got a sizable lead. That's going to be a tough one. I think what is happening in that race is perhaps you've got the name identification with the title on the front of it.
Justice
in front
when
of
you went ahead and voted, and that's with 62% already reporting in. So that race really doesn't have a lot that it could move. So it really does look like she will likely be the next race called.
I think Supreme Court and casinos will be the next two that we probably put in the
I think the Little Rock Mayor's race is going to keep us up the latest tonight to see who makes the runoff.
That's true.
Nobody's going to hit 40%.
Once I feel like it's not changing too far, I'm going to bed.
I love this stuff. I love this stuff.
And Rex, you make a good point. That's something we really haven't said. In order for anyone to be the outright winner, you have to reach that 40% mark. So if you have any of the candidates, all of the candidates fall short of that, you are going into a runoff. And with the top two vote getters. And so the race to watch then becomes between 2 and 3 as those last few votes are counted and trickle in. If those are close in numbers, that might keep you up all night.
And then the story we chase tomorrow, of course, is does the odd man out endorse one of the two that made the runoff?
Absolutely.
Right?
All right. Well, let's send it back over to the desk over there with Chris and with Beth.
Okay, guys. Thanks. All votes in. Rex is a genius. Right?
We knew that. We knew that already.
We knew that. All right. Stay with us. Channel 7 continues with our extended coverage of this year's midterm elections after this.
Tonight's election coverage is sponsored by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, Skycams, sponsored by Middleton Heat and Air.
And we'll be back with our election coverage coming up in just a few minutes. But as you can see, we want to take a quick look at what's going to be going on into the weekend. The big news, colder air coming in. Middleton Skycam right now showing cloudy skies out there and even some showers starting to move across northern Arkansas. And that's going to continue to increase rain chances over the nighttime hours. 56 degrees, pretty cool out there. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, not expecting any severe weather by any means. And we'll say goodbye to the mild air that's been with us for the past couple of days because we got much colder air moving in and possibly the first freeze by this weekend, ending the growing season. And before we get there, we've got some periods of showers like we're dealing with tonight into the early morning hours. We'll see a lot of lingering clouds, maybe a few showers early in the morning here in central Arkansas, and then partly cloudy skies by the afternoon. And then another wave of low pressure moves in with another chance of rain Thursday and into Friday early, and then much colder air filtering in for the weekend, but it's looking dry, very much like fall for sure. Look at the shower activity since 6 o'clock, really been increasing across northern Arkansas. We're dealing with a frontal boundary stalled over Louisiana into the Arklatex, and low pressure is moving out along that boundary and pushing some moisture northward, and that's why the showers are beginning to break out here over northern Arkansas. Primarily just light rain that we're seeing, and well north of the Little Rock area, up around Batesville, over into Stone County, down to Clinton and Van Buren County, and then over the heaviest shower activity just north and south of Interstate 40, moving out of Logan County, approaching Russellville and through the Johnson County area. These are all moving toward the east, northeast, and South Arkansas is pretty much rain-free from Little Rock southward, not seeing anything going on right now. But that could change as more rain and that low pressure area develops through the Arklatex and moves through. So showers will be on the increase, and maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but we're not expecting any severe weather at all. Just a rumble of thunder. A couple of storms may possibly late tonight into the early morning produce a little bit of small hail because there's very cold air aloft. These are the temperatures right now. 56 at Little Rock, 61 at Hot Springs, 52 degrees up in Mountain Home in Baxter County, also at Fayetteville, 55 at Monticello, Pine Bluff at 56, and Helena, West Helena at 50 degrees. So Futurecast has the rain moving in through the morning hours, about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then rapidly moving on toward the east. Even starting to see a little bit of clearing setting in the afternoon. Then another wave comes in for Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Just some scattered showers, and then watch what happens as we move into early Friday. Thursday night into Friday morning. Here comes the frontal boundary, and dare I say it, cold enough for snow from Springfield, Missouri, northward through Missouri. None for us, though. Maybe a quarter to a half an inch of rain total through the noontime hour tomorrow. 51 degrees, mostly cloudy. Showers increase, an isolated thunderstorm. Then tomorrow, showers in the morning, some clearing in the afternoon, and a high around 59 degrees. And a 30% chance of showers, especially late Thursday into early Friday. And temperatures will be downright chilly all the way through the weekend and beyond. Cool fall air is here to stay for a while.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Thanks a lot, Ned. All right, well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll take another look at the Little Rock mayor's race.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Election Night 2018, and KATV can now tell you that Arkansas voters have approved Issue 4. That will bring expanded casino gaming to the state of Arkansas. Casinos reportedly to be built in Pope and Jefferson counties, plus gaming expanded at both Oaklawn and Southland Park in West Memphis. Beth, this is an effort that has been undertaken for years in Arkansas. It's always been rejected. Tonight, for the first time, the voters are apparently ready to say yes.
That's right. Our Zach Briggs has been talking with the folks behind this measure, and we want to go to him now. He is live at the Capitol Hotel with reaction. Zach?
Well, guys, certainly a monumental moment for the state of Arkansas, joined by Alex Gray, who's been instrumental in part of this Driving Arkansas Forward campaign. What's the feeling at this moment?
I think we're just excited. I think we're glad that Arkansas voters finally had the chance to vote for a fair, merit-based casino amendment, and they voted for it. So now it will be in our Constitution, and now Arkansas will be able to keep the gaming dollars in state. We'll be able to create thousands of jobs and really boost our economy across the state. So this is an exciting thing for the state of Arkansas.
And is it too early to say whether there are plans in the future for another similar campaign to expand even more with the casinos, or was that never really the intention in the first place?
I really don't think there will be any future plans to expand gaming. I think that what we have here is each quadrant of the state is going to have an opportunity to have a casino and a resort casino. And so we wanted to make sure that these casinos would not be a roadside casino, but would be destination casinos. And that's what you're going to see. So I don't anticipate that there will be any appetite for future casino amendments.
And opponents argue that perhaps Issue 4 could result in degrading the quality of life for folks, gambling addiction, degrading even further already impoverished communities, Jefferson County being one example, arguably. What can you tell Arkansas voters to ensure that this issue will perhaps bring some money to these communities, therefore helping them out overall?
Yeah. I think it's our responsibility now to prove the opposition wrong. This campaign was never about trying to pull one over on anybody. This campaign was about creating economic opportunity for the state of Arkansas. This was about providing job opportunities for impoverished people, and so we're excited to see our message executed, and that's what I think that's what the supporters are most excited about.
So you guys are celebrating, certainly. What's the next step for you?
Well, the next step is probably to get some rest, get the kids ready for school in the morning, and, we'll work with the Racing Commission and get the rules and regulations going, and, we're excited.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Again, 53% of Arkansans showing their support for casino gambling here. in the state of Arkansas. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay. Zach Briggs for us with the latest on issue 4.
Yep. All right, stay with us. When we come back, we'll have the very latest numbers on the race for Little Rock Mayor.